mean,
You're right. I can see us on there right now.
Just forget the camera's there.
It's like, you literally look like a Cronenberg character right now.
What?
what do you mean? He's Matt.
I'm
wearing a
Matt.
fun-
I'm chilling.
He's wearing a fun head accessory.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think we're in now.
Yeah, I
I think
think
we've started.
I do think we've started. Let's jump right in, folks. Welcome to Apples and Oranges. What? Who's this? Who's this disembodied voice? Who is this? It's me, folks. It's me. I'm Matthew.
I gotta get a
Speaking into
photo.
the mic. Speaking right into the mic, folks. Here, this is Matthew, one of the hosts of Apples and Oranges. Taking a little photograph here,
Oh yeah.
and we're on video, folks.
It's pretty unbelievable.
It's a video podcast.
It's now a video podcast.
Have you ever wondered while listening to this podcast, what would it be like to sit in Matthew's shoes? To sit in Matthew's shoes and be a host of this podcast? Well, now you can, folks. We're trying something here. We're gonna maybe swap back and forth week to week between me and your other amazing hosts, Jack.
Yes, I'm here, and you can see me now, folks. And with me here, we have the amazing Brian DeLong.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for having me. Oh my goodness, I'm so honored to be the first video guest.
I know this is like a
can see
huge
me.
leap forward. I mean, this sort of relates to your work in film and things like that. Like, it's sort of fitting the way we leap forward. Like, this is MTV.
Yeah.
We're killing the radio star right now.
Yeah, we've actually just murdered the radio star, and to celebrate, I'm gonna have an energy shot.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna follow you with the cinematography.
Don't follow me. Does anyone want one?
I'm good.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, this is brought to you by Magic Mind.
This is not brought to you by Magic Mind, but Magic Mind, if you would like to sponsor us, we do use your product often on these
use
recordings.
The product. We get nice and lucid with it.
Yeah. I love this because, like, the point of, like, a first-person POV thing is, like, oh, you really, it's, like, moving around. You get to feel like you're,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to stay as still as possible. No, fuck that. Hold on. Do you drink
You
the whole
don't need
thing? Did you get
No,
drink
I
the whole
gotta
thing?
finish
Let's
it
get,
up.
like, I want to get, like, in your face here.
Mm.
what is the energy shot?
It's goop.
Magic Mind. Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Brian. It's like it's a matcha shot. 60 mg caffeine, nootropics.
No, don't read their copy. Don't read their copy. They're not paying us.
I'm not. It's just a product I like. It's unrelated.
Lock the label. They can sponsor.
They can absolutely sponsor.
And when they sponsor, we will then read the copy.
Yeah.
But-
Sorry, I had one more housekeeping thing, Brian, getting on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, this couldn't have been done before recording. So here we are. We had to dive in. Look, so this is fascinating, folks. I mean, especially I feel because you've never seen Jack's face before, probably. You'd have not imagined. What do you think? And Brian, please chime in here. What do you two think the people thought Jack looked like?
I mean, from Jack's
My voice.
from Jack's voice, I would imagine he's somewhat more of like less of a human and more of a magical being, sort of like a toad granted a wish to speak.
Really? I was thinking like a duck.
A duck.
A duck or a toad? We can agree it's pond life.
Yeah.
It's pond life. It's in the water. I was thinking something that like has a spirit, but not a voice. I think.
Ah. See, I was thinking really pondcore.
Pondcore.
Yeah. Also
Okay.
pondcore. I'm training. I actually supposed to be in Paris right now, ping ponging,
Yeah.
but I was eliminated from the team for being too pond-like.
And doping.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I was a big racket sport guy myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, pickleball, but like,
Oh, nice.
and then
Obviously.
well, they're similar, but I got into trouble because I kept inclining towards lakes. Like I kind of felt like the leeches and I got along a lot, and eventually I got kicked off a team for sucking the blood of my teammates.
This
that's one way to do it.
this happened to me as well. I
Uh-huh.
was almost on the U.S. badminton team, and then what happened was I just felt too much like I was a kindred spirit with lily pads, and I was letting frogs hop all over me, and my teammates thought I was gross and sort of unilaterally voted me out.
The frogs do jump. That's one problem, is that people notice when you bathe in leeches. People don't notice. It took them a while to catch on.
Yeah, but you were like losing a lot of blood. You were letting.
I was letting. Well, I also had to seal up blood. That's also part of the problem.
Oh. It's like seal it up, you said?
I would.
Are you going to be sucking any of our bloods in this podcast? Because we will not allow it. I will be frank.
Well, no then.
That was not a confident no, folks.
You didn't tell me before, but I won't. I promise.
Usually we assume that people won't come into our apartment.
Suck our
We
bloods.
did invite him in. though.
Fuck,
So actually,
we
you know,
invited
you do
him
have
in.
that one on us.
So if he sucks our bloods,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
kinda
who's
chill.
to blame? I would say
But
kind of us.
We know you have blood sucking experience. We know you have pickleball experience. Do you have debate experience? That's something we like to ask our guests.
I do. Well,
Formal or informal. It can be like on a
Yeah.
team setting, or it can be like with your family or friends or.
I think I'm
Close.
pretty good at arguing. I think it's one of my strengths, honestly. Well, I think so. Other people say it's my least likable quality, but I'm pretty good at it.
You got into
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Sick.
That's great. Well, I think without any further ado, we can jump in. Now, folks, this is a behind the scenes, never
Holy
before
shit,
seen.
they're seeing the
They can
freaking.
see how we do things.
Oh my
They can see how the
goodness.
sausage gets made, folks.
Oh my gosh.
Folks, and now for something completely different, completely unrelated from sausages, I
Yes.
got two non-sausage related topics. But look, folks, look. If you decide to talk about sausages, I won't get mad. Why should I get mad? The floor is always open for topics of all kinds, including sausages. I'm just saying, if you did that, it would be unorthodox. And that's fine. I got two topics right here. Jack, you're going to be arguing in favor of a TV show title.
A TV show title.
Yeah, the title of the show. Brian, you're going to be arguing in favor of a reptile.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna argue in favor of MILF Manor. Such a good show name. MILF Manor tells you exactly what you need to hear. They're gonna be MILFs. They're gonna be a big house, and where there are MILFs, there are hungry little jacks. I mean contestants. Shee. But yeah, baby, it speaks for itself. I yield my time.
Fuck. That's such a good.
We have another sponsor, Blinkers. I jest. They don't sponsor us, but they should. Ryan, try to beat that.
Now Jack makes a good point with the title MILF Manor. It's the characters are pretty much all titular, but one great reptile name, which I don't think people talk enough about, is the name Chameleon. When you think of what a chameleon is, its shape, it changes the color, it changes all of that. But the name also signifies that with that it can kind of sounds like anything. Like it sort of sounds like an ingrown toenail or something stuck in your eye, but it also could be like a pizza topping or something like, oh, you got chameleons on that? You know, and ultimately that's what the name is. It's a shape-shifting thing. That's the point of a chameleon. It changes, it's adaptable, and it's dynamic. That's where I'll start.
So first of all,
Thank
chameleon,
you.
it sounds like a disease you have. It's like, I have chameleon. It does not sound like a positive thing. Second, chameleon is the most deceptive animal ever. Like, what are they up to? They have to blend in. They're obviously up to no good and scheming.
They're
us.
sneaky. They're sneaky.
Yeah, that's a bad quality. MILF Manor, you know they're up to no good. But it's all fun and games, you know. Maybe you're scarred for life. Your mom gets with Brett, and it screws your friendship with Brett, and a lot of things are up with your mom. But at the end of the day, a chameleon is out to get you. You're out to get that money, baby. Maybe your mom did that to secure the money at the end of MILF Manor. I'm talking brand.
There's money at the end of MILF Manor.
There is, Matt, because you become an influencer. You get brand deals. You become the most notorious MILF. Then you build your empire.
MILF Empire. That sounds like
MILF
a good
Empire
spinoff.
is a good spinoff.
Real quick, I do have to ask, how do you win MILF Manor?
By breaking the most relationships by the end. By being the most vicious and Machiavellian MILF.
So here's where I'm going to poke some holes in the title. Is I think
Can't.
ultimately
It tells you what you need to know. It's the best title ever. A chameleon.
a manor implies that there's some sort of large inheritable estate, and MILF Manor is really more of a collection of MILFs and their sons, and this sort of like Freudian nightmare is more. It's more aptly like MILF living space. College dorms with MILFs. Like
No, it's a manor. It's a manor. It's a fucking manor, and it's sick.
Do they shoot it in a manor?
Yeah.
In what manor?
A manor of places.
Manor is about like for a manor you have to have it has to be like British, There
No, it doesn't.
serfs had to have worked there. It has to be inherited.
I'm arguing in
through the
favor of a title, not a
generations.
manor, folks. And I'll say it again. MILF Manor is the greatest TV show title ever. You hear it and it arouses intrigue. You think you know what it's about, and you basically know what it's about. But you know what? There's a little bit of a secret that they're not telling you. And that's the fact that the contestants don't realize what show they are getting on upon arriving. And that's a fun twist that the title keeps from you that also is able to add a nice little fun in that pilot. So you're like, what? I thought I knew this was going to be.
I think Freudian Festivities is a better show because that introduces the concept, that introduces what we're going for, and
I think a chameleon is a deceitful, slimy little shit. I think if there were one in this apartment hiding, we would dispose of it.
Here's the thing.
It would not. Matt agrees.
How good at hiding is a chameleon really? Like, I know it's
So now they're bad at their job.
Well-
Your Honor.
Well, how much does it change? Like colors change. But like, if you saw me and all my skin was gray, you wouldn't be like, "Where did he go?"
I'd be
bro?"
like, dude, you have a disorder, like some kind of medical condition.
Almost. And what might you call that condition?
I'd probably call it chameleon because it sounds like a type of disorder one would have.
So if I was blending perfectly with my surroundings, you would call it chameleon.
I would call it.
Intuitively.
I would call it breaking and entering. Is what I would call it. You were just blending in somewhere in my apartment. Like, oh my god!
You invite him into your house.
That's true.
I mean, that's
I did.
That's where he always gets us.
That's
where I
the
said
main
you invite him
vampire
in.
secret. I find Bushwick podcasters.
Fuck.
I think I think you hit the nail on the head where it is like a weird disease where you start blending, you start shifting. And what about the chameleon? Has it occurred to you that maybe they don't want to keep changing? Maybe they want to feel at home and have their own identity.
Well, they can do that. They can choose. They can choose to blend in. They can choose to blend in. As for MILF Manor, it doesn't need to blend in. It stands out. It pops. It's snappy. It sells. Sex sells, folks. And that's what's great about a title like MILF Manor. We all know what MILF means. We all know what MILF means.
What does MILF mean? What does MILF mean? Just for our listeners at home, just for someone who doesn't know what a MILF might be.
Mothers I'd like to film.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're stars. We need them on TV.
Oh.
Uh,
So this is about stars.
It is about making stars at the end of the day. And they live in this manor, and there are a lot of attractive young men there who engage with these MILFs.
And you called them Jacks before? They're
I
Jack-like?
did. They're Jack-like. Yeah, they're
Jacks.
very Jackian, I would say. I noticed that you noticed I got the dogs out today on the
Dogs
pod.
are out. Dogs are out.
Dogs are out because
They're barking.
they're barking. I don't need to blend in here, you know? Fuck the chameleon. MILF Manor on the Nielsen ratings is going crazy. It's almost as hot as apples and oranges.
What we have here is Unstoppable Force meets Immovable Objects.
No, we have MILF Manor, an objectively goated title, versus a slimy, gross little deceiving thief.
MILF Manor. It tells you what it is. It
Yes,
tells you that
great
like,
title.
which I mean, again, Manor. I don't know, but like there are gonna be a lot of MILFs here, and there are gonna be some hunky jacks. That's left out of the title.
There's some hungry
but-
jacks too.
and the MILFs make them snacks, I presume.
In patriarchal MILF Manor, maybe, but I was referring more to like a delicious craft service table. But look, my opponent here, we know where his morals lie now after that statement like that.
Ooh.
He's sort of a chameleon of his own, thinking he comes into the bros man cave and starts spewing rhetoric
Ooh.
like that. We don't. He's on the chump chart now, and I've got him in my sights, folks.
I think if we
Got him on the ropes.
I think if we look at what a
Fuck,
chameleon
guys.
stands for,
MILF Manor? Are you kidding me?
a chameleon is someone looking for an identity.
No, it's not. It's a little lizard, a freaky little guy.
A chameleon is someone who has been bullied by people like Jack its
No.
whole life. It's been people
Yeah,
saying, "Oh,
true.
you don't belong here, you don't belong there," and all it wants is to find a home, to find belonging. And the name chameleon, you hear that they're charming, you hear that they're sweet, but there's something a little off with the name chameleon. There's something that's like just not quite right, but it's trying its best, and that's what the chameleon is. That's all it is, Jack.
A vermin. A freaking intruder.
Would you concede?
No.
Would you concede that a
I will
chameleon?
not concede.
A chameleon is is looking for something.
No,
or
a chameleon
someone.
is like a robot. It's like, food, bug, brr, and just goes around and licks whatever it does and disguises itself. While people like the MILFs in MILF Manor are actually here in pursuit of something greater than themselves. Fortune, fame,
Mm-hmm.
young men. The young men, you cannot have the
Well-
MILF without the young buck. We can't forget
Well,
about
okay,
them
I
as
think
well.
you're conflating the MILF with the cougar. And I think that's one thing that's a slippery slope. A lot of people
You know
have made
what's
that
funny?
mistake.
The last time I debated for this answer, I chose Cougar Town as my title. How sus is that?
Dude.
Yeah, and I was
telling
like,
himself.
that was a great title too. I'll
Did you win that?
No, or actually, maybe, I don't know. It was with Maxim. It was one of like the first episodes. It was, like,
Interesting.
really early. But I remember specifically because I was like, what a great choice. But now I have a new choice, and it's better. And he's on the ropes, folks.
Why is it better?
Why is it better?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you right now, MILF Manor, there's a location, that's much smaller and more specific. A town, it's too large. You don't know where the MILFs are. Cougar Town. I'm sorry. There's maybe a few cougars in that Manor. We've got them. We've got them in our sights, folks. We've got them in a location. We can send in a team of young bucks to win this show in fame and fortune. Also, I must say, folks, I've never felt more like Zabulba in this moment because I'm absolutely dominating right now. A real winner like Zabulba from Phantom Menace, where he's like the pimp of the pod racing scene. That's like me right now. I'm walking around,
Walking on your hands.
walking on my hands. Iba Tuba.
You're conflating the term cougar with the term MILF, I think. And I think that's a dangerous comparison.
Okay, what do you think the
Because
difference is, would you say?
I think you should define it.
No, I'm actually asking. I don't know. Because I'm only here to defend MILF Manor, and I know what a MILF is. It's a mother I like to film. And we need these ladies on screens across this country, on the screens of little kids in small villages across the world. We need them to see these MILFs. We need them to see these
You're
young
getting like
sites.
progressively Trumpian with your way of speech.
I know.
I think we also
We need to make TV great again.
I don't think I understand, and I want you to explain to me what's a manor, and how exactly is it? Because to me, there's a big difference between a mansion and a manor. A manor is something that's more of an estate, a property, and a mansion's just a big house. And to me, it just seems like a mansion. It doesn't seem like
I think a manor is like on a bigger plot of land. I feel like a mansion,
You think it'd be like right next door to another mansion?
Yeah, right. It's in a neighborhood. A manor. Oh, it's like Bruce, like Wayne Manor in Batman. Like that's a manor because they're like grounds, and there's like I think a manor has like staff, and MILF Manor.
I think
has
a
many
manor
staff
would
members.
even have like multiple houses. I think.
Sure.
I think
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
have to have like there'd have to be
Yes, you're
the
talking about-
quarters for servants. There'd have to be wings.
Yeah,
in the house.
absolutely. I think MILF Manor has many like salons and
Sorry, you were talking about Wayne Manor? Bruce Wayne? That rich shut-in?
yeah.
Mysterious
Who's got
shut-in.
that manor up in the hill? No, he's not doing anything suspicious up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an orphan guy.
That guy's weird.
He's
Some-
so sus.
somewhat
He's
of-
Howard. He's our Howard Hughes, I would say.
But
He's
you
never
could
used that
say,
phrase.
if I said, you would all agree that this makes a lot of sense. He's somewhat of a chameleon.
I think he's more of a.
I would recognize him in a crowd, and I would probably beg him for money.
He is like a chameleon because he's a freak.
He's weird.
Who
He's
is
quirky.
isolated from society.
He feels alone.
Who is playing the victim card, locking himself up in there.
No.
He's living off mommy, daddy's money.
No,
we
no.
need to go in there. We need to see. What if we all right now, the working class, went to Wayne Manor?
What if we
And
staged
broke
our
in-
own January 6th where we
on-
broke into
in
Wayne Manor
Yeah, yeah.
and finally stole some money back for the rest of us?
This
Well-
is just sitting there not using it.
He's probably not doing anything. He probably does nothing with his
He
nights.
just sits there.
I think I have a friend actually
It's mailing man
who
thrax.
interned at Wayne Enterprises, and they said he was never in the office.
Exactly.
He's only a figurehead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
He's probably just like
He-
he was probably on Epstein's Island. I don't have any
bet
sympathy
he
for this
was
guy.
definitely-
He's toting the flags. What else would he be doing this whole time?
Bruce Wayne released the flight logs.
Well, I'm ready for some closing statements, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, closing statements.
Who would you like to hear from first?
I'd like to hear from Brian first.
Look, I can spend time disparaging. We can cop in semantics. Difference between MILF and cougar. Difference between manor and estate, or manor and mansion. But what I'm going to focus on is the chameleon. It wants to be accepted, but it's not. because it's a little creepy, because there's something a little bit wrong with it, you know. And I think that name defines it perfectly, because Chameleon sounds endearing, but it's not. There's something a little bit off that you will reject, the way chameleons are rejected from society. Listen to Jack's rhetoric all day. Chameleon bad, and they don't deserve that, but it does fit the name. The name is perfect. The name is appropriate. MILF Manor, it really should just be like moms in big house together.
Bad. That show would not sell.
It's more apt.
All right. Closing statement from Jack.
I'll say it again. MILF Manor is a freaking phenomenal title. Tells you what you need to know. Super few words.
Wrong.
My opponent has just spent most of his closing statement disparaging that little freak, which I don't even need to do it myself. So instead, I'll use my remaining my closing statement to pitch a business idea. It's we take Chameleon's favorite snack, which we know is the blood of children, and we synthetically create it. We're no children to be harmed in the making of this.
This is a vegan company.
This is a vegan company, yeah.
Okay.
And we, do like a candle or diffuser to attract as many chameleons as possible.
Okay.
And then my product, the Chameleon blender.
No.
Yeah. We take them all, and we grab the blender and we smash them one by one.
So your
in a
blender
facility.
is more of like a person with a hammer.
No, it's a person with a blender.
Oh, it's the butt of the blender.
Yeah, it's the butt of the blender.
I think I think we should create a home for chameleons to be themselves.
That was my closing statement.
and we can finally see their true colors.
True colors. They have no true colors. They're the sociopaths of reptiles. Really, is what they are.
All right.
But look,
closing
it's
statements
Society's
are
turned
over.
their back on chameleons, and I'm done. We need to
Listen to this. He's gonna shoot my ear off. Look at this rhetoric. It's like a lone wolf shooter energy.
It's gonna shoot a hole right through the top of your ear.
Peel my ear off.
Well, anyway, folks, I'm gonna have to give this first in color 3D debate
Oh my goodness.
to Jack.
Yeah, he flop sweated. He totally flop sweated. This is JFK Nixon.
This
He
is
flop
this is your
sweated.
Nixonian moment, Brian.
Yeah.
Not to like
Oh,
overdo
Yeah, you got
this.
so.
Well, I just think you got caught up in the semantics of the name, but he was only arguing about the name, whereas the chameleon has so much more to it than just a name.
Yeah, I think I got caught up in the semantics there.
Yeah.
I really thought I had you with the Manor thing, but God, you pivoted quick out of it.
He pivoted
Yeah.
quick.
I was nice and slimy like my opponent.
And now I'm going to pivot quick to this. All right. That was a pretty quick pivot.
That was a very quick pivot.
Yeah. All right, Jack, do you want to take this?
Yeah. Let me see that. Here, just hand me the laptop.
I need to be a source of stability for our
I'm
watchers.
going free solo. Hey, he's peeking. He can peek. You can peek. Yeah, you can peek. But you don't know which one I'm going to give. Oh, is this an advantage if he peeks?
I think he shouldn't peek. I think
Okay.
he saw what it looks like over there. Now he should not peek.
Yeah. All right. We're so back. Brian,
Okay.
we're going to be debating in favor of a spice or herb of your choice. Shit you cook with. And you put on top. It can be, there are a lot of spices, honestly.
There are a lot of spices.
Ooh, there's one spice I'm thinking of in particular, and she let's just say you're not even the fart.
Spicy.
Matt, type of crime.
Type of crime?
Crimes.
Crimes. This
That's
is
it,
a shout out
baby.
for all the day one Maddie Cuts
Really,
heads.
we gotta drop that in some fashion.
The people, you think the people
Crimes.
need to see crimes?
Yeah, we could edit it in right now if we wanted to, but maybe we.
I really don't. Let's let this podcast be its own thing. Now,
I want to go multimedia on him, and he's not letting me, folks. And I feel like I'm putting Jackie in the corner, and I'm gonna edit the shit out of this and add hella effects and make it crazy and whatnot. No, I'm not even gonna touch this thing. I'm probably not even gonna drop this episode because I having an anxiety attack. No, I'm
Folks, Jack is
jesting.
freaking out.
This is what victory does to a man.
This is why Jack should not be on this podcast.
I'm
He should
showing
not
my
be a
good-
host. He should not be a guest. He should not do production or tech. Jack should not be involved in this podcast.
David
This
Dobbins,
is why.
if you're listening, you may have to step in.
David Dobbins, you might need to step in, just not in the way you're expecting. David Dobbins, Brian, has been trying to take my role on this podcast every time we've had him as a guest. All 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
I don't know. He really wants to host it, and he specifically wants my position.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's hard for me to hear.
Yeah.
Is he-
We've had no one come on and want to be the topic generator.
No one's even tried.
What if we actually had someone just standing like in the other side of the room and they would just be like,
What do you think?
city, like,
Banana.
restaurant, you know?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
Well, anyway, we got an urban spice and we got a type of crime.
Yeah, and I want to hear from Ryan. Are you itching to go first, or do you want to go second?
I would love to go first.
Okay,
Please.
run it up.
The best spice that seasons the entire world is salt. There's nothing on earth. There's no food. There's no drink. It all exists from salt. There have been wars fought over salt. There have been civilizations built on salt. The way you dry meat and fruits and vegetables, the exploration of the oceans, the explorations of the land masses, all of it's built on salt. Pretty much all of human civilization could not exist without salt.
I'm going to be arguing in favor of regicide. That's the murder of a royal. I believe that if you don't like your leader, you should be able to get them out of power. And I believe in, through historically speaking, most leaders were not elected with democracy. They were generally considered to be anointed by the power of God, who blessed a family to be in charge, which sounds like some real bullshit to me. And I think regicide is a great solution to a bad leader. Murder the leader, no more bad leader. And it's much better than salt because salt gives you heart problems, gives you bad cholesterol, fucks with your blood, and it can really ruin a dish. So I'm going to yield my time there.
Hey Jack, what do you think the worst war was? Just real quick.
Probably First World War.
Probably the First World War. Yeah, Matt. I have one thing I want to say to you. Does the assassination of Archduke van Ferdinand ring a bell to you?
You mean Archduke Franz Ferdinand?
That's what I meant to say.
No, I knew what he's talking about. I knew.
Yeah, does that ring a bell?
Yes.
And look, I don't remember why. It was pretty complicated. But what did it lead to? What did it lead to, Jack?
The second one? Second World War?
That's the
World
First
War
World
One.
War.
World War One. Yeah.
No,
The
but-
Great War. They called it the Great War.
The war you just said was the worst war ever.
Okay, got you. I thought you meant what did World War One lead to, and you were doing like
No.
trying to do like a double war.
Oh no! I mean, I suppose I could hit the double whammy, but that might be too abstract an argument. No, the First World War with the mustard gas and the trenches and the rats the size of cats, Jack.
That
Were there
didn't
really-
invent
were
the
there-
rats. Is that the
What does
GoPro?
that say?
Is that the GoPro telling me it's done?
Camera is low battery.
I thought it
Yeah.
said too hot.
Is that what it said?
I think that's what it's saying.
Yeah, maybe it overheated.
It's too hot. We're too
okay.
hot.
We got the first half down.
Yep. Well, let's keep going. I don't know if this is still recording, but
No, the audio's still running. We just got to keep going.
Audio's
the
rolling.
The camera's done.
all right. Good experiment.
That's cool.
All right. Let's jump back in, folks. Should I take this off?
No.
No.
if you
I think
want.
for drip, I'm going to
Wait,
keep it on.
Try to turn it back on.
Where's the button?
Nah, you know what? Fuck it. Because syncing it. Do we really
Oh,
wanna
it's
sync
really
it?
hot.
That's awesome. Whatever. Cool experiment. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I'm going to keep it on for the sake of drip. Let's continue this. This is
Yeah.
now we're back to our good old-fashioned audio
Yeah.
debate podcast.
Yeah.
Please,
You were saying
Brian,
mustard
you're in the middle
gas?
of something.
Big.
Big rats. Oh, I wanted to say, this did not. Just a quick sidebar. The regicide did not cause the big rats. That's insane.
What do you mean? Well, the rat was caused by the flesh they were devouring, which was caused by the assassination of Archduke.
Well, that war was going to happen one way or another. There was so much heat going on in the world at that time. One way or another, there was going to be the tensions were going to get inflamed, and there was going to be some sort of massive conflict.
But the boiling point, say it with me.
the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Which falls under
Regicide. I'll give you that.
Regicide.
Because it's the Great War, folks. Everyone called it the Great War.
The war to end all wars.
Yeah, because it was so great. Imagine that. It ended all wars. And we can thank it all. We can put that all on Regicide. Regicide ended all wars.
But Jack, did it end all wars?
There may have been a sequel, is what I'm hearing.
There may have been a sequel.
Yeah, and which was an indirect result of how that war ended. So we can really put it all back on Regicide. The greatest two wars.
The greatest two wars, that's true.
The greatest generation fought in
Human
World War II.
atrocities.
They would not have been the greatest generation had Archduke Franz Ferdinand not been shot via regicide. So look, I'm just saying, like, regicide's pretty great. It's pretty influential. What it did is it put into motion what would have happened like much more slowly anyway. And I like that. I think we should cut to the chase much more.
Do you...
It's like, why wait for this royal to die? This royal pain in the patootie.
Do you condemn the action of... Is it Matthew J. Crooks or Thomas J. Crooks?
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask if I condemn Gavrilo Princip for killing Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Actually, can I? No, I want you to condemn. I want your take on both of those shooters.
Gavrilo, I do not condemn. And what's his name? Something Matthew Crooks.
Yeah, let's call him Crooks.
Mr. Crooks. First of all, amazing name. Like, really, you gotta give it up.
Yeah,
that's why I think it was a false flag, man. Because I think the Trump administration would make up the killer's name being Crooks. That checks out to me. Someone was like, all right, Trump, we're gonna get this guy to shoot your ear. It's gonna be like,
shooter Crooks.
All you have to do is turn your head at the exact right time, and they're like, what should we call him? They're like, what if we called him Crooks?
Yeah, that's great.
So anyway,
So do you condemn?
Do I condemn him? I think the only people that should be condemning him are people with a lot of influence who have a chance of really inflaming political divisions by making a statement. But because I have no influence, I can comfortably say no, I do not condemn him. That regicide. That was also not regicide.
Much like yes, it was. Much like Tenacious D, we're now splitting up after that. After Matt saying something so out of pocket, so off,
so divisive,
so divisive.
It's so
political
divisive.
violence, Matt. This partnership is much like the GoPro. It's melted.
The GoPro is melting on my head. It's melting all over my face.
That's pretty cool. You're gonna become a cyborg. Well, anyway, back to the debate. I'm sorry.
No, look, and you took a side there, by the way. It was a bit side takey.
Side? Oh, took a side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. So you said I took a sigh. So
No.
I really did after that.
Yeah, you were performing a sort of a Gangnam Style-esque routine.
Hop on Gangnam Style. Folks, we love Psy.
We got Mitt Romney style. We never got a Trump style. I'd love to see a Trump-themed parody of Gangnam Style. I think 2024 is the year. I think people would love it.
I think
He would actually sweep if he did a Gangnam Style parody.
About Trump? Absolutely.
Yeah, we maybe we shouldn't release this episode because if the GOP got a hold of it, we actually would affect history. Much like the butterfly that told the guy to shoot Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, well, it was Gavrilo Princip. You must understand.
Yeah, butterfly told him. Much like the wax or the bees.
Right, yeah, or the discovery of television among the bees. Well, the thing about Gavrilo Princip was that he was a Serbian anarchist, and so was that butterfly. It was a very influential Serbian anarchist. Yeah. And so, the butterfly flapped in his ear and said, "Go kill Gavrilo Princip." And he went, "I will kill Gavrilo Princip." No, I will kill Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Wait, is that where the term butterfly effect comes from?
Yes.
Yeah. It was this Serbian anarchist butterfly.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I derailed this whole thing, but Matt, this is done.
It's done? Okay.
No, the debate's not done. I meant our
this sidebar.
Our sidebar's done, or our comedy duo's done. Because you're too radical.
I'm entirely too radical. I understand. I've been saying radical shit since the beginning. And Jack's been putting up with it.
I've been putting it down in the sense of all these dogs that I have in my apartment. Had to put them down because they're all sick. Folks, let's get back to this topic.
Let's get back into it. So we've just all that to me can be summed up as regicide is cool and good and important. Meanwhile, you're talking about, I've already forgotten what spice you're talking about.
Salt,
like
the main one, the
who
Michael
gives a
Jordan
shit?
of
That's a mineral.
spices.
That's a mineral, man. That shit's a rock. That's barely That's an herb or spice. We're talking about like leaves. That's a rock. That shit's a rock. It forms in caves.
Yeah,
That's a rock. Objection, Your Honor. That's a rock.
If we're talking about rocks versus leaves, crack versus weed.
What do we think about a rock? Do we think that was like a...
What, the country?
Do you think there were WMDs there?
Oh, absolutely. No question.
Man, this is you
we
and
didn't find them. We just didn't find them. We gotta go back there. They still have them. They're hidden. We gotta go back. We gotta get back in there.
If
He's a warmonger.
if
I'm a
you
little hawkish, I admit. But it's for the right cause. Yes, Brian.
I was gonna say if you could get fucked up with Rumsfeld and Cheney,
Yeah.
or Obama and Biden, who would you pick?
It depends on
You
the
get to
setting.
party with two
Here's-
of them.
I mean, I think
In their prime, or like when they were in power, or now, or...
I think Dick Cheney's just entering his prime, baby.
Yeah,
it's
well-
but,
true.
well, I was-
so true. It's Dick Cheney's son.
And Rumsfeld's dead, right?
Rumsfeld is recently
But
dead.
he's alive in our hearts. He's also force
Yeah.
ghosted me a lot. I don't really know what that's about. It sucks.
What's he saying to you? He's saying we should invade
A
Iraq
lot of the
again.
shit that you keep talking
We
right
need
now,
to
I
invade more nations.
Yeah, he's like literally the WMDs are there. We need
Yeah.
to go back.
No, I mean, I think the thing is, Obama seems like a cool hang. We're talking about, I mean, this is a classic politics podcast discussion.
Yeah,
Who do
yeah.
you want to get a drink with? Obama seems like a cool hang.
not like a drink. Like you're getting
We're
you're
going
like
losing
shit-faced?
your mind.
Vegas.
You're losing
Vegas.
your minds
What
tonight.
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I'm just worried about the older men in the room. Like everyone who isn't Obama, I'm worried would
no, but I
die.
think in this scenario they can hang.
I mean,
They
yeah.
can hang.
I
They
just
can do
think
it.
They've all killed. They can
Yeah,
hang.
that's true.
I
The
just
things
think-
they've seen. You think they can't handle a night without?
Their blood's
night in Vegas?
pumping. Yeah.
Here's why I think it would have to be Obama and Biden. I think it would be a better like party night, frankly, because like I think I would have chosen like the Bush admin if you had included W in the mix over like Rumsfeld
Who was
or
that?
over W.
I don't know who that is.
George W. Bush.
Oh, W.
W.
You're saying Delbia. I'm like, who is Delbia?
You know Delbia.
Secretary of Transportation, Sean Delbia. Come on, bro. He
Well,
was
anyway.
the future of the GOP, and then they found that shit in his laptop. It was so fucked.
Another shit on his laptop, and then he broke his knee. It was a bad year for
It
Delbia.
was
2005 was an awful
Yeah,
year for
you
Delbia.
remember the clip Delbia down?
It was huge on Yik Yak.
Yeah.
Look,
Folks, Sean Delbia, if you're listening.
Sean Delbia, we want you on the podcast, and we want you to be the Secretary of Treasury for Apples and Oranges. I
Yeah.
think it'll really help us
That would be
spend money on
huge for
things
us.
like, because we wasted a lot of money on this GoPro, which
Yeah,
could
this
not
GoPro,
maintain
it's fucking-
battery.
GoPro couldn't even go over 30 minutes.
It's like $150.
Yeah, that
This
was
is bullshit.
It was Prime Day, though. So
It's
Jeff,
hot. It's
thank-
hot in here. It's hot in here.
It
not-
isn't.
No,
it is
is.
not that hot.
I guess it's not. It's a little moist. The dogs
little
are
mo-
sweaty. The knee's weak.
Like, just to get back to my point, which is not related to the main point, George W. Bush, I think, could really, like, party.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be cooler than, like, I don't know, if it was just President Vice, maybe, like, him and Cheney would have stood a chance. But, like, Rumsfeld seems like a boring asshole,
No,
and
I disagree.
and Dick Cheney, I think, would have a heart attack, like, immediately, and that doesn't seem like a fun hang,
No, he'd be
like,
like
a party night.
It's like clenching his hand. He's like, I'm having a heart attack.
He's doing a spot-on impression of Christian Bale in Vice, just so everyone
No,
can...
folks, if we could watch Vice right now, that would be
Let's
good time.
Let's get back to the main shit here. Salt is probably
Yeah,
going to be
let's-
what
let's
kills
talk
Dick
about
Cheney. But what should have killed him was regicide. I'm kidding, folks. He wasn't a king. It only applies to monarchs.
Yeah.
I don't actually endorse.
Actually, what are your
violence.
what sort of dishes will you add salt to? Like when you're well, you know.
This is and like I'm not trying to be annoying because
No,
it's
no.
a debate thing, but like literally there's no food you wouldn't at least put some salt in, or it's pre-salted if you wouldn't put it in.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And more than that, like the grander point is like voyages across the sea, voyages across land. It's only possible by dehydrating foods with salt. Like all of history is really about salt if you think about it.
Yeah, you wouldn't take any food and like, you know, there's certainly no foods that you wouldn't put salt on, like fruit. Oh wait, there are fruit, like strawberries and blueberries and lemons and things you wouldn't just like throw salt on.
Hey, fruit's delicious, right?
We can all agree on that.
Fruit's delicious.
Fruit is delicious.
What about a pie?
There's low key though. I know some heads, just older heads, who will put like salt in a grapefruit, or like on my granddad and his friend do like watermelon with salt.
Yep.
You
You
ever
know,
do
the
that?
thing
you
about
throw a little bit of salt
Yeah.
on some sweet fruit. Oh boy, do those flavors
actually
come
does.
out
the
even
thing
more.
about
yeah.
old people is that they're
Think we
all
should.
idiots, and they don't know that like salt will kill you.
Salt is what
Dilber's not
propaganda
an idiot.
from like anti-salt are you getting, Matt? Salt's fine for you. It's great.
Nah. Salt's good for like curing meat. I'll give you that. That's like the extent of it. Otherwise, everything is
And-
over salted. You put a little salt on something and it immediately gets too salty. It's and it's not an herb or spice. It is a rock.
I'm not gonna.
I'm counting. I'm counting. Don't worry, Brian.
I'm not going to dignify the not a spice comment with the response. I'm gonna say, of course, like drying fruits, drying vegetables. Have you not had like a
Well, like a dried apricot, or are you gonna pull something out of your pocket?
like one of these bad
What's that?
boys? One of these.
I mean,
Third sponsor of the episode. Can we?
So
see?
this is
Yeah.
not like.
apple and mango dried fruit bar. That's only possible because of salt, baby.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
the reason
only
why
how.
that argument is like I'm the wrong person for that argument, and it's just like it's not your fault. I'm just the wrong person for it. I really hate like dried fruit. I think it's so gross. I think like all dried fruit is bad. Say for like craisins, I think all dried fruit is
Oh,
bad.
wow, that's a hot take.
Yeah. So like,
You ever had a dried mango, Matt? I think you'd be into that.
nah. I mean, I'm not the hugest on mangoes anyway. We don't need to get into this. I maybe
You're gonna trust your opinion on salt from someone who doesn't like mango, the most delicious of the fruits.
It's okay. I'm getting more into it, but it's a little. I don't know. I'm slowly growing more fond of the tropical fruits.
What about like the non-tropical fruits?
Sure. Like what? Is this the interesting path you want to go down? We
You
could
know
like
what,
I can name all the fruits I like.
Let's not.
I like pears.
You know, I was eating a cherry the other day, and
I like those.
no, that was
Cherry's good. Cherry's great. Folks.
Cherry's great,
Yeah,
folks.
Cherry,
This is what it's all about.
Peter, Sean,
Our two listeners.
Pete.
we love you. And I think I'm ready for concluding statements.
Yeah. Who do you want to hear from?
I want to hear from you first, Matthew.
Yeah, I just think like salt's like nasty. You get too much of it, it makes your mouth kind of pucker. It looks too much like sugar, and it's a great way to ruin like a baked good. Is replace the sugar with the salt. It's like it's all like food is so oversalted. It's like always like causing like health problems for people. People are getting all sorts of like high cholesterol and like gout and shit from just like putting salt on everything when they could just show some restraint because you don't need salt on all your shit. It's just like it's bad for you and you don't need much salt and everything gets like full of salt. So I think it's like a net negative for modern society. Erstwhile, regicide was a net positive for old society. It was the only way to bring about change in a time when change basically never existed, where hundreds of years would go by and very little would change. The only way to actually get societal change in one way or another was with regicide. And I think that's beautiful. And I think the echoes of regicide can be heard throughout history. From Mr. Crooks, that bad Mr. Crooks, to Gavrilo Princip. I yield my time.
I didn't know I was debating Robespierre.
Yep.
Just had to drop.
Oui.
him. Yeah, had to drop that. But sorry, salt. This whole propaganda against salt, led by Big Cinnamon, is just ridiculous. Like it's perfectly good for you to have salt in, not even just moderate. Like you can have like a lot of salt. The amount of salt you have to have like serious problems from salt is so much. It keeps you hydrated. I mean, we haven't even gotten to pickles and pickled goods. It's a great way to store food, to preserve food, and like the taste. You have unsalted eggs and unsalted steak and unsalted even grapefruit is just worse. There's no margarita with salt on the rim. Ooh. There's so many delicious things we haven't even gone into.
Shiba.
And I yield the rest of my time. I think the work speaks for itself.
Wow. Okay, folks, this is a tricky one. You know, that was an awesome closing by both of you, and I will say that purely on debate, I do think Matt may have inched you out, Brian, but He's just too radical, and we have to stop him. So Brian, I'm
He's
giving
a
you that
threat.
dub. I'm
He's a
giving you that
threat.
dub. Yeah. Brian wins. Matt, you're just too dangerous to be left alive.
Matthew Cuts and Kyle Gass, 2024.
Matthew Cutson's Jacobin Book Club will be meeting next week.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, folks.
Well, how's that timer going? Are we?
Now we're at 45. We're at
I
45.
think we're all set to start to wrap this
Yeah, I
up.
think wrap it up. I
Folks,
think we
this
do
has been
I
the
think we-
first.
We're gonna wrap it up.
I think
This
we're
is the
maybe
first
we do
video
like a-
episode of Apples and Oranges, sort of. We'll see if next week
Yeah, we'll
we're
drop
coming
it.
back with more footage.
Yeah, we'll figure this thing out. Maybe we just get
Yeah.
a real camera.
Maybe just get a real
Set
camera.
up
Maybe
the
this was
camera.
just a fleeting little experiment.
I love the GoPro in the face. Nah, we should do both. We should just have the GoPro and then let it die when it dies, you know? But, like, have it in the corner for part of the video. Is that insane?
Sure, this is a conversation for not on
Well,
air.
I think
In the description, what you guys want. Leave
Leave a comment. There's certainly forums for that.
Sean Dilba, you fucking bastard. Come on the pod.
Please,
Anyway,
Mr.
sorry.
Dilbia.
What are some experiences?
Are you asking if he has debate experience? Are you resetting?
No, I just want to hear like Brian's experience, like just in life and in this world, and as like another consciousnness floating in this experiment, in this crazy thing we call life. I just want to hear all about that, Brian.
So a few years ago, I was in the Amazon and found a shaman to guide me on my first ayahuasca trip.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And that's when I discovered sort of what it was about. And people are like, "Oh, was it fun?" And I said, "The point isn't to have fun." And then I sort of walk away from the conversation because it's about enlightenment. It's about
Yes.
feeling. It's about, it's pretty much like 10 years of therapy in about 8 hours.
Did you
And-
puke and shit yourself when you did the
it's called
ayahuasca?
cleansing, and yeah, I did. I cleansed, and then I was sort of reborn, and I think since then it's been pretty dark, but it was a fresh start. And I'm thinking of doing that again.
I got
Yeah.
you. Oh, nice. So you do it again quickly.
Yeah, I think I need to turn around because my new life was a lot worse than the first one. But
Wow.
yeah, well,
Wow.
what about you, Jack? I mean, what advice do you have for people
For the
that
listeners out there?
Yeah, for people that are like, damn, I don't know if I'm like motivated to wake up tomorrow to
Maybe.
crush it.
If you're not motivated to crush it, I would say just get off your fucking ass and crush it.
Uh-huh.
You can't crush it. Just crush it.
And may I jump in and say, you gotta crush it. You gotta just if you think that you can't do it, just remember, we fucking went into Iraq. We got so close to those WMDs,
so
and then
close
that
to taking
coward
place.
Obama pulled
Yeah.
us
Yeah,
out
yeah.
right when we were so close to getting them.
Yeah, we were. This
It's sort
close
of
to
like
getting
edging of WMDs in a way.
We're gooning.
Gooning.
Yeah.
It's been a gooning sesh for these WMDs.
Neo-colonial
And so-
gooning.
but when we get them, oh baby,
Ooh, baby.
it's gonna be so sweet. That's what I tell those people. If they can't get out of bed, just think about those WMDs in the morning, and then that'll jump out. You'll start doing push-ups. You'll start,
So
drinking
what I would
friggin'
say is,
sludge.
if you can't get out of bed, get out of the kitchen, because your bed should not be in the kitchen.
That was beautiful, man. That was great.
Thank you.
Maybe Brian, do you have anything you'd like to plug? This is coming out.
Um,
I think maybe the 9th of August. I want to say.
Yeah, it's Friday after this one.
I really think all I have to plug is New York City. It never
New York
sleeps.
City.
It's
Aw,
always
man.
out, and go out there and enjoy it, folks.
Wow. And in turn, I will plug one of the great films about New York City, The Cruise. It's a beautiful documentary depiction of very much like it is New York pre 9/11. To the point that the film is almost predictive of 9/11 in certain qualities. It's a great little character portrait film,
Maybe we watch The Cruise after this.
and it's
down to
just
watch The
it's a great flick. So I recommend The Cruise. That's
Yeah.
my plug.
And I also would like to plug the 1983 Ron Howard film Splash, where Tom Hanks falls in love and has like a lot of most of the film is Tom Hanks having sex with a mermaid. Actually,
Oh, whoa.
I can't believe it was made. But
Wow.
yeah, I
No
would
way.
like to plug that.
That's sick. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna plug Joe's Apartment.
Oh yes,
This
yes.
movie. What year is it, Matt? 96.
96.
Yeah, it's just this awesome movie about a guy who's, back to this guy who can't get out of bed, if he had a bunch of cockroaches living in his apartment,
And they like sang songs.
and they sang songs and got his life together, that's sort of what Joe's Apartment is as a movie. And they are animated, and it's actually really good animation for early animation.
Yeah.
They sing, they
Oh, yeah,
dance,
CG.
They like CG, and they talk in these crazy high pitched voices and do show tunes. It's a romp.
They're voiced by like Billy West, and one of them is voiced by Dave Chappelle. I found out.
Yeah, one of them was voiced by Dave Chappelle. Pitched
Fascinating.
up, but still
Very
yeah.
pitched up.
Yeah, I was gonna plug my Strava. You all got to get on that.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, follow me on Strava, dude.
Are you on Strava?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, we can settle this off air, folks. This has been Apples and Oranges.
That's your
Thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully, when we
Thank
come back in
you.
2 weeks, video will be sorted, and clips galore will attract even more of your friends to want to listen to us gab. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
For this momentous episode. Thank you for being here. And we'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye-bye, everyone.